Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will get lost in the pages of Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Hamlet, written by William Shakespeare in approximately 1600, is one of the most famous and profound tragedies in English literature. Set in the Kingdom of Denmark, the play follows the young Prince Hamlet as he grapples with grief, revenge, and madness after the murder of his father, King Hamlet, by his uncle Claudius. Claudius has seized the throne and married Hamlet's mother, Queen Gertrude, setting the stage for a complex narrative of deceit, betrayal, and existential pondering. The play's exploration of moral corruption, the complexities of human nature, and the consequences of revenge has made it a timeless masterpiece. Plot summary. On a cold night, a ghostly figure haunts the battlements of Elsinore, the royal castle of Denmark. The sentries are startled when they recognize the apparition as the recently deceased King Hamlet. They decide to inform Prince Hamlet, the son of the dead king, hoping he will know how to interpret this troubling vision. Hamlet, deeply grieving his father's sudden death and disturbed by his mother Gertrude's swift marriage to his uncle Claudius, is summoned to the encounter with the ghost. The new King Claudius holds court, addressing the nation about the recent events. He speaks of the sorrow of his brother's death, but also defends his marriage to Queen Gertrude as a necessary step for the kingdom's stability. He diplomatically addresses the potential threat from young Fortinbras of Norway, who seeks to reclaim lands lost by his father in battle. As the court disperses, Hamlet remains in turmoil. He is disgusted by his mother's hasty remarriage, which he views as a betrayal, and he suspects Claudius of foul play. Later that night, Hamlet encounters the ghost of his father, who reveals the terrible truth. King Hamlet was murdered by Claudius, who poured poison into his ear while he slept. The ghost demands that Hamlet avenge his death but warns him not to harm Gertrude, leaving her fate to the heavens. Overwhelmed with anger and grief, Hamlet swears to take revenge but is troubled by the weight of the task. His philosophical nature leads him to hesitate as he ponders the morality of taking another man's life, even one as corrupt as Claudius. Hamlet adopts a guise of madness to mask his true intentions, hoping to bide his time and gather more evidence of Claudius's guilt. His behavior alarms those around him, particularly his love, Ophelia, the daughter of the king's advisor, Polonius. Polonius, convinced that Hamlet's madness stems from unrequited love for Ophelia, informs Claudius and Gertrude. Claudius, however, remains unconvinced and sends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, two of Hamlet's former friends, to spy on him and discover the true source of his distress. Meanwhile, Hamlet grows increasingly bitter. He delivers his famous soliloquy, contemplating the nature of life and death, and whether it is nobler to endure suffering or to end it all. His inner turmoil intensifies as he stages a play called The Mousetrap, which mirrors the circumstances of King Hamlet's murder. Hamlet plans to watch Claudius's reaction closely, hoping it will confirm his guilt. As the play unfolds, Claudius becomes visibly agitated and abruptly leaves the room, confirming Hamlet's suspicions. Energized by the success of his scheme, Hamlet confronts his mother, Gertrude, in her chambers. In the heat of the confrontation, he hears a noise behind a curtain and, thinking it might be Claudius spying on him, stabs the unseen figure. The body is revealed to be Polonius, Ophelia's father, whom Hamlet has killed by mistake. This murder sets off a tragic chain of events. Ophelia, devastated by her father's death and Hamlet's rejection of her, descends into madness. Her grief overtakes her, and soon she drowns in a nearby river under mysterious circumstances. Her brother Laertes, returning from France, is consumed with rage upon learning of his father's death and his sister's tragic end. With Claudius manipulating him, Laertes vows to take revenge on Hamlet. Claudius, sensing an opportunity to rid himself of Hamlet, proposes a duel between Hamlet and Laertes. The match, however, is a deadly trap. Laertes' sword is tipped with poison, and Claudius prepares a cup of poisoned wine as a backup plan. The scene is set for the final act of betrayal and bloodshed. The duel begins, and though Hamlet initially refuses to drink from the poison cup, Gertrude unknowingly drinks it and collapses, dying before their eyes. In the chaos, Laertes strikes Hamlet with the poisoned sword, but in a struggle, their weapons are switched, and Laertes is wounded by his own blade. As both men realize they are dying, Laertes confesses the plot and forgives Hamlet. The two exchange words of reconciliation as Laert succumbs to the poison. Hamlet, now mortally wounded, turns his attention to Claudius. In his final moments, Hamlet forces Claudius to drink from the poisoned cup, at last avenging his father's murder. With his vengeance complete, Hamlet collapses, and his dying request is for his friend Horatio to tell his story and ensure his legacy. As Hamlet dies, Fortinbras, the Norwegian prince, arrives with his army, having conquered Denmark while its leaders were entangled in their own destruction. Fortinbras surveys the scene of carnage and, with a sense of solemnity, orders that Hamlet's body be carried away with the honors befitting a fallen hero. The kingdom of Denmark lies in ruins, its royal family destroyed, as the cycle of revenge and corruption comes to its tragic conclusion. That's a wrap, but the journey doesn't end. Explore more books by William Shakespeare. You'll find the details in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in William Shakespeare's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.